I'm digging. This is the vibe. And I want to make a video based on Goobly Looped. I want to make a video based on fear and pumping fear and instilling fear. I would really want to make a video about this because I just watched two different programs here on, when I say here, on YouTube. And the more I thought about it, the more I thought, yeah, I really do. Like, some things I really guess I have to, really hammer it home, or I don't feel that people are getting the gist of. And one of them, the first, was I will not mention who I was listening to, because I like this preacher. I like this chap, and I don't want to give anybody the wrong idea. But he said something really interesting, and what it was that, or the indication that, people that are spiritually lost, one of the reasons is because they have a hive-like mind. And I thought, okay, but I realized how he was part of this hive-like mind, because the next thing that he said, I myself have experienced it, checking out YouTube, different, chats even. And everything is so, fear has literally manifested itself in all avenues, all psychological avenues and emotional avenues, and even the pineal gland. I'm not too sure what to call it. Psychic avenues. I don't know the psych. What is that? What does that word mean? It means you're utilizing more of your brain, or more of another side of your brain than we'll say the general. And that's what it is. Some people learn it, some people are born with it, and some people teach it. All it is using an aspect of your mind, that an area, a category that others aren't using. And this gives you that ability. Now, as you move into that ability and you learn to understand that ability, you learn a whole concept that everything is connected to you. Everything. 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 It also gives you the freedom of acting upon your questions, your need to know, and giving you the ability to ask these questions and share information. Man is the only person that makes another man, and I'm talking woman as well, uncomfortable with what it is that they say, because people are always building walls and concept and preconcepts that moving into, I guess it's kind of like you say to somebody, hey, can we talk? And the automatic response, whether they verbalize it or not, is, oh yeah, one of those, eh? And these are all preconcepts. It's like that. The mind does that. It has a tendency. So what this gentleman said at the pew was, I almost want to laugh saying, I'm so sorry, but everyone's going to freak out and, ah! No, I don't think my subs do, otherwise it wouldn't be subs. This whole aliens or demons you lose me there. I'm expected to lie to appease, you know, a percentage. If I am at a lower percent of strangeness, there's only one of you, you know. Whoa. Okay. So to think, to think, to think. Now, we are made in God's image. I really believe that there's, three different creations. I really do believe that. I do. And listen, I came across this. It's too bad I lost it on my laptop. And she was a female super soldier. Maybe I could find it in my history. That's what I should do. And she was talking about this energy that wasn't initially of this world, but somehow had made its way here, and it's now engulfing the world. And people aren't aware of this identity for the most part. So it is able and it's capable and able of overtaking all of the Earth's creation. And she spoke about the fact that other planets had died as a result of this very behavior. And so it's going from one to the other to the other. Okay, now I have mentioned, okay. I mean, what year was it? 1995, maybe 1995, 1996, 95.6, 9.5 years. There was this very sweet couple. I love her to bits and pieces, and she was elderly then, and she. Brilliant woman, just a beautiful woman. And she started to talk to me about the Draconians. And she said, she was English, and she said, have you heard of them? Do you know about them? And do you believe in them? And what do you think about them? And I thought, this is the first. I'm not really too sure what the, but the fact that what it did, it unchanneled a part of my brain. I didn't remember it. I really didn't remember it. I didn't remember being lifted. I shouldn't say taken, lifted, because I go on my own accord. And I receive a lot of answers that I have asked because I sincerely and earnestly choose to know the answers. I think why is my desire to be of help. And this is, I'm in flight. And a lot of times I know, I'm going to get, it never lands in my face because I'm being truthful. A lot of times I'm in flight with who we know as our Lord. Not always. But I have, and I am in awe. I'm grateful from the word go. Hallelujah. You know what I mean? I think it's the coolest thing. Man is where I find my issues because I want to be extremely honest. And most people really aren't up for that. So it's always been a juggling act, always. I sometimes push the envelope to see how far I can go before the other individual's mind calls bullshit. and factor is, it's no bullshit. I'm telling it to you really how it is. So I look at the fact that we can't be that arrogant to think that we are the only creation when instinctively, internally, instinctively, we know that there is, whether we want to verbalize it or not. Some people get really quick-tempered and annoyed by it. I think that's fear. I think it's fear-based. I think it's fear factor. And I can see primarily this goop, this cocoon that's being, created for man, that ultimately will completely, cut off its spiritual connection with their oneness. I mean, even if we're in the dark and we're confused here on earth, we are still connected. And it is via our dreams. Unless, of course, we get into some type of rhetoric where, my dreams aren't my dreams anymore, and so on and so forth. Which I know they wouldn't have the authority, because I know I'm that close to heaven. I know I'm that close to Christ, our Lord. I know that I am that close to our heavenly parents. So I've always been in awe by how courageous our brother is, that he did what he did. A lot of people are going to say fabricated, bullshit, yada yada, this and that, not. And truthfully, it doesn't matter. And the reason it doesn't matter is because I know that at one point or another, okay? Sorry. At one point or another, we're all going to face the facts. We're all going to face the truths. And some people are going to go, oh, right on. Am I ever glad that I believed it? There was a part of me that kept saying, are you certain here? Like, are you certain you're completely going against the stream? You're completely going against, what is considered the norm, the standard of faith. I mean, they all talk about free faith, but it's not, because what they call free faith all has limits and conditions. Absolutely, because a mind can only go so far, and then it doesn't comprehend anymore if they're in a fixed thought process, in a fixed thought pattern of thought. And to break away is, to open a breakaway is to expand. And some people don't want to expand. They're just comfortable the way that it is. It's comfortable to, they don't need to have all the answers in the universe. As long as they're not having issues right here, right now, in their lifetime, all is good, all is cool. And, for the most part, okay, seriously, 99.9, that is how it's supposed to be. God lives in our hearts. Now, in that process, the 99.9, if our inner voice is a good person and fair and works hard, really takes the time to think about things and investigate things before they come up with an answer. It doesn't always have to be physical, as long as it's tangible, psychologically tangible. Then we lead in that general direction. And God says that He's there. He might not know God's name, but the way that He lives, the way that He conducts his thoughts, and what direction He wants to take Himself as a human being with a wife and children possibly, is, hey, if self-respect works, then He's going to respect the woman of His desires as well, and vice versa. Hence, also the desire to bring forth a child, because we know that there's a part of that child that I see my own reflection in, and the other half I see my reflection with my co-creator of choice. Generally, when we are at that place, we might not know God per se, as in going to church or having the fellowship or having Bible study, but is convicted. He convicts himself and herself to know what's right and wrong. Now, if their desire is not to harm anybody else and make it work for themselves and their partners and children, like I said, if there are any, it's going to blossom. At the end of the line, they are going to be present in a light, into the light. And He will introduce Himself. Say, you never did catch my name. Could He put stock in that person? Absolutely. Him and her. Absolutely. Because of the choices that they made in their hearts. Yeah. And when they do, it brought them happiness. Their choices brought them happiness. Absolutely. Because everybody was on board. Everybody knew what was up. If they were going to make that, boat float, everybody had to, be on the same page. Husband, wife, dad, mom, kids, right? Okay, so, how did we get here from alien? Well, believe it or not, just because they don't look like us doesn't mean that they don't have the same concepts. For the most part, why don't they just go ahead and show themselves? Is because we're violent. We are extremely violent as a species, as a creature. Because we were taught that this violence would ultimately give us the rise in voice, and in that voice take control of masses, and eventually they turned it into a profit. The game of risk, right? And at that point, blood isn't real. It's real to us that are dying, being killed, shedded, or being sent to a war, a useless war. They're all useless. That's sad. That is incredibly sad. I pray for each and every soul that, they're the martyrs. And don't forget, it doesn't matter what us human beings think, they are the martyrs. In Christ, they are the martyrs. In heaven, they are the martyrs. Nobody's opinion matters. Their life matters. It was a sacrifice. They sacrificed themselves. You know, the innocence is that as a child, because that's what it goes back to. Someone's child, and they're a child of God. And we taught them that. We molded that into our children as our parents molded that into us. So as a parent, trust another parent to do the right thing. But as a whole, human beings don't have the tendency to do the right thing. They are governed by fear. And there's nothing about fear that is right. Force is not exactly the right thing. But yet, they figure it's what worked best. Sad. The good thing about this is that it's not their world. It's not our world. But it's not their world either. And that's what a lot of people don't seem to get. They keep saying it, as above, so below. If it's black, then there's white. They keep saying it. If the darkness is nefarious, then you have to also act upon the light and the goodness in it. Now, what the goodness is that you can see everything. Everything's right there. Everything's, at your fingertips. No matter what it is, you can see it. It's right there at your fingertips. But when you take that away, when you take that knowledge away, or that ability to have that knowledge, whether it's physical or spiritual or scientific or philosophical, we can get right down to nitty-gritties. Mathematicians, on and on and on. They're all titles of the one thing. And that is, in your element, how much of yourself do you know? Because that is going to give you the power, the balance. It's going to fulfill that desire that you want. And what that desire is to not only feel like you have a sense of control, but that you have a sense of control regarding your surroundings, where you want to be, what you want your success to be, who do you want to be. So, with all this in mind, because we know that other universes and other galaxies exist. We know this. The possibility of there being life on another, being that dismal, where people actually cannot get their head around it. It's that law, just by dismissing it and saying that it is in no way the realm of possibility that they exist or they would show themselves. Like I said, what would it take for you to get spooked where you're going to want to retaliate? Well, I know for a fact you're not going to wait for that. You're going to be locked and loaded and say, don't move a muscle, don't twitch. And our reasoning would be because we don't know what to expect. So therefore, also the other reasoning is, I'm here, I'm at home. He's a visitor. He's got to tell me, where are you from? It'd be nice to know. Now, if we were in alignment, this would automatically happen because we're all born this way. We're all born as transmitters. We are all capable of hearing the energies around us, because we are a part of that energy. Just how everything, like the universe has a pulse. There's a heart. The universe has a pulse. So, when you look at what is ultimately right and what is ultimately wrong for an individual, any a individual, I'm going to say I would step outside the box and pick up some books, allow yourself to expand the possibility that when God created us, there were other creations that, I mean, if God is God, he would create those those others. Isn't that correct? I mean, it's nice that we are made in, quote, quote, their image, because their image, like THEIR, their image is correct. Yes. But they're just going like Elohim, and then they say that it's multiple. You know what they did? They take so much of the truth and they chop it up, and then they take two stories and they put it together. I know this. I've learned this because I've deliberately just dumped information. Sometimes, like when people are talking about Elohim, I would say they are each individual militant angels, and when they were described to me, each one was an aspect of God, of our Father, our Heavenly Father, the King of all, the Creator. Yeah. Even when I spoke to her and I asked her if I could be healed of psoriasis, she said, it's him that makes these decisions because of your life pattern. I came here to help soothe your ache, your heart, your soul, because I was but a child, but I was really grieving, and that's a whole other story. And so, out of my grief, she left and said that she would take it to our Father, and she would come back and tell me either way, because it could have been just part of my destiny. And I thought to myself, how lovingly, because they did it together. They did it together. Ultimately, she trusted him and his decision. But ultimately, he trusted her and her decision. Very much like that. She was going to keep her end, and she was going to come back, and she was going to let me know what was what. And one morning I woke up, and I went to open my hands, and when I opened my hands, it would be a process. Anyway, so she proved a miracle, what we would call a miracle, happened, and I think that's when my mom stopped what she was doing and took a devil, even triple look at me, and she asked me to repeat it again because I guess she thought, well, I don't know what she thought. So I repeated it again, and I saw the look on her face, and I saw the look on her hands, on my hands. Anyway, so that was really beautiful because it also led my mother down the path of knowing that everything was going to be okay. And whose child was she? She was God's child. Yeah. And she leaned heavy on our Savior and was grateful to our mother for the support because she carried us in the divine. That divine is heart and mind. That's the divine. So that's a whole other trip. So this fear, as far as, aliens being demons, demons are demons. Aliens are aliens. They too know God. I don't care what they call them. They too know God. I'm here to tell you. Okay, because what's going to happen ultimately, okay, they decide to open up one day and actually say, okay, boo, ta-da, you want to talk, we'll talk. Maybe they're telling me to shut up. People are automatically going to be freaked out. People automatically are going to be panicked. People automatically are going to be on guard because of the hype that was pumped into them as per se knowledge. And it is down the wrong beaten path. And we have to look at it realistically. We do. We cannot let our egos and our pride rule us, run us, be a vehicle for us to escape on. But what are we escaping on? On our ideals, our preconceived ideals. Truthfully. And so this is why they just don't go, oh, hey, yeah, here we go, I'm Scotty. I'm Scotty, nice to meet you. Or better yet, those Martians from that movie. Man, it was just friggin' hysterical, the Martians, Mars, the Martians, or something like this. Oh my goodness, I just loved that movie. Their brains would explode. They would hear a certain note or a certain song. It was like, ah! Yeah, that was pretty funny. Okay. So this whole concept, now, there is a mom and pop situation on other planets as well. Kid yourself not. So not all the time do you know that you're interacting with an adult and how old they might be. Now, this conversation is going to end up going to the shadow people. And reason is because people relate the two. Now, I just listened to a whole bunch of mumble jumble about electrico, and it had, after you saw one, it had this, apparently you had really doom feelings and feelings of gloom and feelings of doom, and the one thing that was said throughout all of it, because that really was gloom and doom. I tell people the truth, and people think that's gloom and doom, and it's not. It's not. And the reason is because as I am talking and I am sharing with people, I I'm always shown that way out of it. I'm always shown, hey, look, it's important you think this way. It's important you know that this is going to, this is what they plan to manifest. It's on the horizon. And what people don't know until it's there, until it actually happens, we can still change it. But people aren't going to be able to change squat if they don't know the truth about certain things. They're not. And if I am so wrong, you telling me the way that things are great, because you have to throw in the way that you think, as well as the world, everybody else, how they're thinking, and you're a part of that. You're telling me that's all that great? That's just, the way that it is? That's the truth? And look at how it is. Every second person is thinking they're bipolar, because there is this depressive feeling that is hovering over everybody. And what it is a lack of knowledge. Like no one's really got a whistle that's going, like, wake up everybody. Hello, can I have everybody's ear, please? Yeah. Instead, it's the same old. It's not propaganda. It's fact. But they're not giving you the way out. And actually, not all of it is fact. Like, come on. All aliens are demons? Like, what if they're taught that about us? Because I know for sure. I do. And I know what word I'm using. I get it. But I cannot tell a lie. I'm telling you, okay? I'm telling you. Honest. If there's anybody that is a fan of Christ, a fan of Jesus, is me. And anybody that does know me knows this. I am the Bible thumper of the community. Yeah, yada, yada. But I mean, I'm making funny, but as a matter of fact, yeah. So these shadow people, what was right about this? What was correct about it? Is the fact that, yes, it would make an absolute sense if we were in a energy vortex where one crossed the other, okay, because then there would be somewhat of a gap. Now, what the gap is, I believe, is the coming down of a veil. Now, where this person was walking, okay, could very well be where they are. They don't have to see me. Don't do it. Don't leave an answer. Okay. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Hello.
Don't.
Please leave a message
Don't
after
do
the
it.
tone.
Don't do it. Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah. Okay. Where they are, okay, it could be a city somewhere. It could be a city somewhere else completely. And and what happened by chance, okay, I was able to look through, I can't say through the veil, because the veil is down, okay, so through energy, through time, and see this person per se, but I saw the person in the form of a shadow person. And I might not have been that person's reality. I think because, or they might wave and whatever. I believe that sometimes when it happens long enough that certain people are shocked from whatever side of the dimension, whatever side of time, because it's a curtain that comes down in time where there are two different aspects of the same time living and happening that are capable of perceiving each other, whether it is by feeling, gut, interaction, visual. It's real. It's now this whole, you feel like gloom and doom and everything else like that, poppycock. As far as it being an illusion of somebody's mind, I know for a fact, all right? I'm telling you, I actually shared this the other video where I said, my girlfriend and I both, anyways, we called it the clubhouse, and that's where we had tea, and literally tea, and at the same time, we saw a shadow literally come, because I had a big picture window. I still have a big picture window. And there was an individual, a shadow that walked right through my living room and through the picture window, headed toward us. And we both made a comment about this, because we both experienced it at the same time. And it was wonderfully unnerving, because we both saw it at the same time. And it was, you saw it too kind of scenario. So it can't be what the one particular mind is picking up. And could it be psychological, and could it be that you were, at that, yada, 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 yada. When it comes to being influenced by that vortex, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Because there was two of us that saw the shadow person at the same time. But, that person looked like that person was heading at a certain place, like it had a destination. It was going somewhere. It wasn't so much coming to us. We just happened to see this person come to the living room and through the window and the wall, and we have a log home up there. And it's a fairly big living room, so it's not like a little, blurb, no, it's a fairly big living room. And so, for it to come through, it would be the kitchen, the dining room, and the living room. And then out the picture, right? One of the windows, one of the walls. Yeah. And so the fact that we both experienced this, we both saw this shadow person at the same time, this is where I lean toward the vortex, because that would be the only thing that would make sense. Now, the shadow person could have seen us and gone, oh, hey, super cool, or oh, shit. I mean, one of the two. I know what we said. We said that. Oh, shit. It was like, did you just see that? And there was, yes, absolutely. We both saw this at the same time. So this is where I lean toward the shadow people. So this whole gloom and doom, and if you happen to come across a shadow person or they come across you, you're going to get moody and sad and want to go and do something stupid, or you have to worry about hauntings or any kind of stuff like that. Just don't. Just stop for a second and realize it does happen in energy pockets where a curtain will come down and the ability to see time will be mutual, or see through time will be mutual. And that is that time looking at you, your time looking at that time. And we ourselves, how do you know that we're not shadow people? and he was walking somewhere, maybe for whatever, had a cookie or a crumble. I'll say a crumble. Yummy. Um, um, and all of a sudden saw, got a flash of me and my sister from another mother in the clubhouse drinking tea, having a healthy woman's conversation without the influence of television, our children, which are adults, your partner, and just a place for solace where, at the end of the day, you could just come down a couple of thousand, and it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Most of the land is untouched. It broke my heart when they finally ran electricity up there. It really broke my heart. They were all kind of freaked out when they realized how much of the trees just, but I try to tell people they don't always take heed, and then damage happens, and it's a terrible cost for everybody up north. I mean, it's so beautiful up there, and for the most part, the people are very beautiful up there. They have such a love of life, and they're very zealous, and they're really close, family knitted, and that's the part where I fell in love. I really fell in love because of family being everything to me, and I'm very respectful when it comes to family and the bloodline, despite how off-centered they can throw me. I always utilize it and turn it into time I could utilize for something else, we'll say. So this whole shadow person negativity, so on and so forth, gloom and doom, and they always add this negative twist. Always. There's nothing to be fearful of. Just remember the fact that all it is where energy crosses one another. Okay, it's a pocket where energy crosses one another. And in that pocket where everything crosses one another, the veil of time is dropped. And so for however long the time is, the window is how long that each other will be able to perceive each other's presence. So there's nothing really eerie about it, even if you see them come out of like we did the person in my home. Used from the kitchen, had to, because straight across, like like I said, I've got kind of I've got this little kind of gap from the dining area and living room and the kitchen, and then beyond the kitchen, part of it is on the other side and the other part is my bedroom over that wall before they're walking out, because I live on acreage, and so that's the only place they can go. But like I said, from when this person was walking, okay, from this pocket of time, there's a pocket of time, because after it came through the window and the wall toward us, and we were sitting like right smack in front, it's not like, her and I shuddered or got the EBGBs or all of a sudden we felt scared. No, we just split our gut laughing, and loving the fact that we both saw this at the same time. It's physics is what it is. It's physics. And, there's multiple layers to God's creation and God's Well, I don't say that they like to destroy, extinct. I mean, when it comes to wars, I guess, and there's it's just foolish. So anyway, to think that we are the only living beings, and that aliens are demons, um, just because they don't look like us, you don't want to be in the situation where you're completely getting rid of. How do you know it's not a mother and a couple of children, and you're all freaked out and scared because you were told all the time they're demons, they're demons, they're demons, they're demons, they're demons. You keep hearing it and you believe it. I know a lot of people instantly, aliens are demons. And I would have to laugh and, type back, no, they're not. Because they're not. We are demonizing them. Now, their technology, okay, is way ahead of ours. Answer me this. If they have all this speed, all this technology, and all the availability to do such harm, imagine what they could do. Imagine how they could destroy us. Imagine how vulnerable we really are. All right? If they're demons, why are you and I breathing? Why are you watching me? Why am I telling you this? Okay, think about what you're saying. If these aliens are demons, why aren't they doing anything? They're above us, they're flying, there's these lights, they're showing enough of themselves, and some of us pissed them off where they had to show a little bit of power and go, how easy it is? Look at, this is all the people that we need to out this world, completely out it. You don't think they've got that capability? So if they're demons, why are we alive? Why do we have the time? Never mind the freedom. The time. Why do we have the time to actually say aliens are demons? If they were demons, it's right there is the proof. People go, prove it. I just proved it to you. They're aliens. Because a demon, oh, believe you me, they like to fly into the body and out of the body, into the body and out of the body. And not one particular body. Don't kid yourself. It's not, they don't fall to that kind of possession. Why? Because they think that we are there for them to play with, and we deserve it for being so daft and so limited that we don't allow ourselves the education and the knowledge to be able to see them, to be able to identify when it is that you're being messed with and you're not. So there again, if you do have knowledge, it empowers you. It really does. And you do end up having ownership over the demon because you understand the makeup of the demon. And you say, I'm the boss. This is how it is. Okay, but I think time's running out. I don't know if I'm going to make another and this fear factor. Because carrying on this conversation, when were you scared about that demon? Me telling you this, and by, okay, if you think you saw a demon, even in a quick second, you think you saw it in whomever, don't second guess yourself. Because if you just keep looking, they will look at you, they will confirm it, yes, I'm busted, you see me, and they laugh. When I asked, how do you get away with it? Well, he just said, we know the truth too. But different than humans, you get to know all the truth, the whole story. We only know the beginning of the truth. And from there, everything else is a lie. If they want to buy it, it's their own fault. And I thought, man, I gotta let people know that. So know that. Do you need to be fearful? No. Aliens, demons? No. Shadow people, people that we need to be freaked out, worried about? No. How do you know that when we come across a shadow person, we're not the shadow people too? All it is a crossing of time. That's it. The veil comes down for a time, a short time, and you can see each other. The way we can see them, or that person, or they can see you, me, us. Okay, I'm digging. This is the vibe. I hope you got something out of all this. Share, thumbs up, like, and you can subscribe. Okay, that's it. I said it all. Man, it's still running. Oh, I got lucky. Okay, I'm outie. Don't forget to like, share, thumbs up, and you can subscribe. Ciao, buddy.